Welcome, my name is Kat, this is my channel Kat Can Sew, and this is episode 37. I'm on Instagram under Kat Can Sew, and I want to thank people who found me on there. I've had a bunch of new subscriptions, or followers, which for me is about 8. I tend to not pick up many people, maybe after a retreat or something like that. And so yeah, I don't tend to post much over there, so I'm going to be 100% honest. I forget to post a lot, so I just don't. Today shouldn't take too long. I have like 7 projects and 3 finishes. I got a lot of stitches done this fortnight, and you'll see why shortly. So let's jump straight in with my first finish. This is a finish for now, because the actual finishing on this is going to what makes it. So it's Ribbon Candy Ornament by Calico Crossroads. The one I did, none of these. So I finished the purple stitching. So it is literally just reversible long ribbon. When I finish the 3 that I'm working on, I will go through and do the fully finish on all of them. And I actually started the next one, which is the middle one here, in UCLA colors. So I think I'm doing 444 and 3760. I matched the colors as best I could on the internet with like what DMC colors are UCLA, and it was as close as I can get because DC doesn't match to kind of anything. So I got, on the purple one I only had about 113 stitches to go, and on UCLA I have got 294 stitches. I have it worked out that should take me about 50 days to complete, as it's 49 stitches across is the length of my thread, which will mean I need 3.5, because it's 170 long, to get all of them done, and it's 14 stitches deep. So fingers crossed that'll be finished by the end of November. I know I'm not going to stitch on it every single day, and depending on how October looks, it may even be December before it gets done, and then hopefully early next year I will have all 3 of them done and finished. I am kind of hoping to have those 2 done because I would like to give them to my mother-in-law. I don't currently have the sequins I need, but my Dapper Day dress is going to use sequin trim, so I'm hoping to harvest some from that, because I know I'm not going to need all the trim I order. So we'll see how we go. That's just stitched on 14 count perforated paper. I got both the pattern and the paper from 123 Stitch many years ago. I want to say the end of 2020, maybe 2021. Where's that piece of card? Because this fabric is also very sheer. Next up is the next of the Celebrate All Year stitch along from Black Needle Society that we got in the nice list in 2023, and then it was available on their website. I finished March, which was National Umbrella Month. This was 847 stitches stitched on 32 count blue-grey linen, which was kitted, the linen, and the fabric floss may have as well. I'm not sure if I needed to pull extra flosses for this one. They kitted everything we needed for year 1, for January. I do feel like I needed a bunch of colours, but you know, there's stuff I owned, so it's not a problem. The next one I'm going to do is September, which is the dinosaur one. So that's also about 890 stitches, something like that. So that's going to take a while. Those are in the Black Needle Society bag that we got in one of their boxes. And then my last finish is To All a Good Night. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This was in the nice list in 2022. So this will take me a little while to finish. But I'm really happy with it. This is stitched on a 32 count opal, so it's been a little bit scratchy, and 32 count. I did 858 stitches on this, so I finished this at like 2 o'clock this morning, so, but it's finished. So I haven't posted that finish yet. I will do that when I have finished recording. That was in a Livendale A bag. So this was fully kitted with the fabric and all the floss. And now we go into my whips. I worked on a bunch of stuff this month. So while I was editing my Flosstube last weekend, I decided I really need to work on these, and working on them, doing one of these while I edit, because you know you gotta wait for stuff to load and things like that. So I have 3 more of these to stitch, and then all of the beading and backstitch. So this is the Mill Hill Advent Trilogy in set 3. I have done sets 1 and 2. I have the Nativity Scene, the Baby Jesus, and the Ice Skate left to go. So the Ice Skate will be the one I work on today. I got 206 stitches done on it, and I finished the poinsettia. I'm guessing while I was talking I probably remembered to put where I was. I had done the outline and the yellow, so I had to fill in the colours. This is in a bag we got from Black Needle Society. This was in my first subscription box, which was the Flamingo box, which was hilarious because I dyed the floss with that. Next up is Peace on Earth. Most of my projects are going to have I'm not going to have to add cover images. This is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Here is where I was, and I forgot to get my fabric folded the right direction. Here is where I'm at. So I'm not even sure what I did. I apparently did 525 stitches. Oh, I did Peace and this motif over here, and I think this gold one here as well. So it's a sampler. Samplers aren't my jam. This was from the Black Needle Society's 2023 box. So we actually had 2. We had this one and Winter Wonderland, which were both samplers. This is being stitched on a 36 count marbled pointer linen from XJuDesigns. As I said, this was fully kitted by Black Needle Society. All the flosses are Weeks Dye Works, I think. No, Brick is Weeks Dye Works. The rest are all Classic Colorworks. This is in a Christmas bag from Black Needle Society, and the needle minder is the Space Mountain. That's from Galloway Minders. I think I actually got it through their website, Galloway Gallery, but a lot of their Disney stuff is no longer available on their website. Next up, I hit my goal. I am officially over 10% on this project. And then discussions are being made on whether I'm going to fill in all the states. But I stitched Pacific Crest Trail. Here is where I was. I believe I was really close to finishing California. We're done! Okay, so this one is like bigger. Like I can't actually like show it all. But so we have Washington and Oregon. California's going all the way down here. And I started the logo. I got 2,636 stitches on this fortnight. I mean, just the logo on its own is like 1100 stitches. So I had a ton of California left to do. I'm actually really digging this on this fabric. I did discover I've got to add 8,000 stitches to fill in all the white in the logo, so that shows up. So we're going to do the logo and then make decisions. Girl, I'm doing full likes it both ways. I kind of, on this fabric, kind of dig it. Not filled in, but we'll see what we think once that really heavy, 15,000 stitches is on that side. On whether we want to fill it in. If I'm not filling it in, I'm about 35% done. Otherwise, I am 11% done, 10.5% done. I also did my 500 stitches goal, so I knocked out a couple of goals on this. This fabric is Lascaux by 25 count Lugana from Live and Die LA. Needle minder is from XJuDesigns on Etsy, and it's just in the Live and Die LA project bag. Yeah, I got so much stitching on that in the last fortnight. It's been ridiculous, but I was really, I also finished that this morning. It is probably going to go away just because I'm a little bit burnt out on it. But I have some plans for 2026 that I will discuss probably in December, of how I want to try and get some work done on my BAPs. Next up is Frogwarts Year 1. And so, here we go. So, if you've been watching my videos, you're aware I am trying to get this finished July next year. So, spinning up, trying to get a third of the stitching done in the motifs per month, or the quotes. So, for September, it was Year 1. I've still got about 500 stitches to go of that. But here's where I'm at. We've mostly been filling in over here. I got 787 stitches done. I think the number of stitches I've got left, I will finish the mirror, but I will start on fluffy. And then I will change the month. I've actually already spun up for October, and I'm going to be working on Year 6 again. Year 2 is starting to look a little sad, but it will mean I didn't spin up the quotes though, which gives me time to keep pulling out the quotes. So I'm probably going to work on this this evening and get that, because I finished a goal and I'm working on it every time I finish a goal. So I don't know whether I will get that goal point finished today or whether that will happen, but it's got to happen before the end of the month. So I'm being really making sure I'm working on this. So this one is living in the Q snaps until July next year. I'm determined. I want to get this finished. I want to get this fully finished by July next year. It will move a bunch of stuff out of my whip list, as each of these years plus the quotes are their own line in my whip list. So there we go. Frogwarts Year 1. So this is stitched on a 28 count French Vanilla Mistake by Live and Die LA. Needle minders are Black Needle Society. They came in various Frogwarts boxes along with the project bag, which is also from Year 3, which is the year I started. Next up is Royal Games by Mirabilia. Here is the cover image, and here's where I was, and here is where I'm at. I actually got a ton done on this. I got over 1,000 stitches. I got 1,500 stitches done on this. And here's where we're at. So 1,500 seems like a lot, but that's what I put in. I am almost all the way down to the bottom of her sleeve there. I did all of this over here. $1,500 feels way too high. Nope. 1,500 is what I did. Oh. I re-uploaded this to Pattern Keeper, and all my quarter stitches now count as a stitch, where they didn't used to. It was like both sides had to be done for it to count as a stitch. But yeah, apparently that is 1,500 stitches. There's like 400 stitches here and 100 stitches there, and oh, builds up. Oh, I did a bunch more in her neckline too, and her hand, and yeah, no, I feel better at saying 1,500. I think I can't even remember what the goal was on this, but I got a bunch done. This is stitched on also French Vanilla Mistake by Livendale. I wanted it to look like an old playing card, and then I'm doing Roll Games 2 on the other side. Needle minders are from Adam Hart and a couple of Etsy. Project bag is Charisse W. Sweet off Etsy. I have 3 Mirabilias going. I really need to get working on them to get them all closer to finished. I think she's at about 20% now. Next project was my new start of Ribbon Candy Ornament, which I showed you at the start. And then my last one is my oldest project. It came up in my wheel for no stitches done in 2025. No, for a pre-2023 start. So my goal on this is 1,500 stitches. Here is the project. It is American Classic, which is Elvis in his army uniform. I actually purchased this at Graceland in 2007. I didn't see anyone when we were there in 2019. I've actually got 2 patterns that I got at Graceland on that trip. I also have the gates, which I technically stitched and then realized when I went to do the back stitch that it was out, so I've got to restart it. But American Classic, this is was a Posy collection, designed expressly for Elvis Presley Enterprises. I do not have a before photo because I've got to take one before I started stitching. And here is where I'm at, actually, because I haven't got a before photo. Let me pull this off the Q-snaps. Well, partially off the Q-snaps. And so this is where we are. So I have all of the stars done on this side. These 2 just need the last leg done. And then I am working on the hat. I did about 197 stitches in the hat, so I'm a long way to the goal. Basically, I won't even finish the hat when I hit my goal. I am doing this loop start, which is why the stars have like that weird stop spot, because that's where the thread ends. But yeah, no, this hasn't been touched, I'm going to say, in like 10 years. I honestly don't think I've worked on it since, maybe like 2016. I may have done some stitches on it. I know I started it in, I must have started it in 2009. So this and Bookworm Fairy would have been started roughly the same amount of time. they both were started when I was at CityLink, and I was there 2007 to 2010, but we got real busy in 2010, and I've got a feeling I stopped taking my projects with me. So that's how I can place it. But we're calling this my oldest project because it is the one that when I roll by start date, it comes up with, because I was able to date a little bit closer for Bookworm Fairy because I have my hard copy still and I've written on it. This one I never wrote what day I started on it. So this is like a cream off-white 14 count Adia, came as a fully kitted project, and it's a Charles Craft, so it's really stiff. Needle Minder is from Black Needle Society, and Project Bag is from Lugana, LA. So that is all of my projects. I got over 5,000 stitches. Like I did more stitches in the last fortnight than I have done in months. Or really close to it. No, that's greater than two different months of stitching. But that is all my stitching. There's a lot on a few projects. Next fortnight, the number of projects will probably go down because I'm like at the start of all my goals, but a lot of my goals coming up are like 300 and 400 stitches. So I am going to aim to try and get like at least 500 to 1,000 stitches on those projects before they go away. So that is all my stitching. I have no haul. I kind of do. Last week I purchased a bunch of digital patterns. I signed up for Needle and I got the Divine Beast Sal, and I also got Celestial Orcas and the Rays. I don't remember what the title is on the Rays, but how awesome are these? So many shades of purple. I've got all of these into Pattern Keeper, so this afternoon I think I'm going to try and kitting those. I also got a couple of projects that are going to be gifts, so I'm not showing you those patterns. And then I just picked up some other Disney patterns, that Disney ride patterns. So just looking for some small should be quick projects because I'm running out of those. But then I have a ton of those that I also just need to like kit. I did do a massive cleanup of my stitching space. That it has involved me databasing all of my charts and my kits, and charts that are kitted. I actually have a tub that anything that is fully kitted, that is not a Mill Hill kit, or a tiny little kit, is going into, so that way when I want to start something I can go, okay, this is all the stuff that is ready to go. The thread's already pulled, the fabric's already sorted, the pattern information is in there, with the goal of trying to get some more finishes done, but also working through stuff I already own before I'm buying new stuff. But I really wanted the Divine Beast set, so that's really cute. We get the next part on like Tuesday. And as I said, two of those, one is going to be a smalls exchange and one is a gift for a friend. So once I start stitching those, you won't see them until they are given out to people. Other than that, life update, not ligament damage, not a break. So probably muscle. I am talking about my ankle. So anybody who isn't familiar, end of June, I stood ballet, rolled my ankle. Probably back to it was a sprain. We had an MRI done. I had an MRI done a month ago, and it came up as the result of it's not ligament damage. So I have to call and book PT on Monday, because it's not being done through where I normally do stuff, so I have to call them separately. But hopefully, and then I have new restrictions, so I'm not sure yet whether I'm going back to work yet. I'm waiting for work to call me, the accommodation team from work to call, though I will probably give them a buzz if I haven't heard from them the end of Monday, with whether they're willing to have me come back, they're comfortable with me coming back, or whether I have to wait till the next round of restrictions. But that's about it. I kind of, there's a lot of stitches for a reason. It's called I Did Nothing. Welcome to being injured and wearing a boot and having crutches. You do a whole lot of nothing. My spoonflower fabric arrived on Saturday. It didn't get delivered to us, so it is lost. I'm waiting for the reprint to be delivered out. Makes me sad, but it is what it is. I have my next couple of projects already to go on to Q-Snaps. My next project, which is my next 10% goal, which is only like 500 stitches, so it shouldn't be too bad. It is the last of my small to get to 10% projects. The rest of them are like more like this one, though this was the most, which was Pacific Crest Trail. Other than that, this afternoon I'm going to be helping my husband's podcast, the Old Switcharoo, do their season finale. This will go up Wednesday week. This is their season recap, and I am their game show host. They have a game that they've got, like, most of the guests or people from most episodes have sent in questions, but they can't know what the questions and answers are because that would be cheating. So I double check everything, make sure all the sound files work, and then I will press play on my laptop with my with my my phone, so we have separate audio tracks, and I did it for them in the end of last season too. So this time JMO knows that I'm going to be on it. So if you're into old retro Switch games, please check them out, and I will post. They'll be in the description, and I will share that once that posts, because hey, I'm in it. I really don't help their algorithm. I try, but I'm pretty sure nobody. I do not help the algorithm. I am not the right kind of audience, but most of the time my husband's enjoying doing it, so I'm cool with him doing that. He lets me do this. That's about it. I can't think of anything else. My goal for the next couple of weeks is just more stitching if I'm not working. I am going to a Disney Halloween presentation they're doing on Saturday, which means I get to pull out my redhead again, so we will have some Disney photos. And I'm allowed to drive again, so hopefully there will be more Disney photos. I'm aware Disney is kind of... But I already have my Magic Key. I already have my annual Disney Plus. I wasn't making any difference. Me using my Magic Key, I may as well. I've already spent the money. So yeah, should be going to Disney some point in the next couple of weeks, because I'm allowed to drive again. We're just trying to give me about a week of walking without the crutches or the boot. Make sure that I'm going to be able to hold up to the amount of walking, even just doing a chill day at Disney. Mostly shows and rides, shows and shopping, because I am still supposed to be only doing about 10 minutes of walking an hour, so that's where I'm at. Sorry, I'm just rambling now. There's a good chance a bunch of that I just discussed will be cut, and if not, you'll hear me say I'm going to cut it. On that note, do all the YouTubey things, like, comment, subscribe, share, do the things. I love when people share my stuff. I never do those things, so I'm never going to complain if you don't. I will be back in about 2 weeks, hopefully with slightly less projects, but hopefully with some more finishes. We're down to 45 active whips, and 17 finishes for the year, I think. I forgot to double check that. The next one will have all my stats, so I'll have all those numbers. But those active whips will have gone up because I'm doing 2 new starts that I can't show you. So have a good day, have a good week, stitch on your jam, find what makes you happy, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.